Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Some of you were asking if I could do a mix breakdown of a video that I put out recently for some 70s style drum sounds. So I thought I'd do a quick video on the drum kit I used, the mics, and the mix breakdown in Pro Tools. The drums themselves were Maxwin drums from the 1970s that I picked up at a garage sale. I made a video about this and I'll throw a link up to it right here so you can check it out if you want. The drums are single-headed and have concert toms, which were pretty popular in the 1970s. To add to the vintage feel, I used Zildjian A cymbals from the 1960s and 70s. Now let's talk about the microphones. I used a total of 15 mics on the kit, which might sound like a lot, but each one did play a role in getting the final sound. I only ended up muting one mic, which was the knee mic in this setup. For the overheads, I used a pair of Neumann KM184s in a spaced pair configuration. On the bass drum, I used 3 microphones. I used an ATM25, a Warm Audio WA47 condenser mic, and a Solomon Low Freak sub microphone. The ATM25 and WA47 were the main mics in the final mix for this. I found the sub mic to be a bit too modern sounding for this 70s style, so I only used a bit of it in the final mix. On the snare, I used a Shure SM57 on the top and on the bottom of the drum. I also tried miking the side of the snare shell with an AKG 451 small diaphragm condenser mic for something new, but a technique I'd seen in some vintage drum recordings. I also want to note that on the snare drum, I used a rag on top of the drum to take away all the overtones and to get that really dead 70s style drum sound. For the toms, I used a Shure SM57 on the first 10-inch tom, and then for the 12-inch, 13-inch, and 14-inch toms, I went with the Sennheiser E604. On the 5th tom, I used an AKG D112. The hi-hats were recorded using an AKG 451 small diaphragm condenser mic. I skipped using room mics in this setup because I wanted a tight, focused 70s drum sound. Even the close mics picked up some room sound, so I had to use some transient designers in Pro Tools to clean this up. I also want to note, in Pro Tools, I used a mastering plugin called Ozone 9 on the master bus. For this demo, I'll keep the maximizer on to boost the volume and to keep it consistent. Later, I'll turn on the corrective EQ and dynamic control that was added at the very end, so you can hear the difference. Now, I'll play each track in its raw state first, and then add in the effects so you can hear the difference they make. A quick note before we dive into Pro Tools. I'm not a pro mixing engineer, but I've picked up a few tricks for blending drums into tracks. These methods worked for me in this specific case. Most times, I just go with what I think sounds cool. this walkthrough helps you get some 1970s style drum sounds and some insight on how to get this sound. If you have any tips or suggestions, feel free to share them in the comments. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you thought this video was helpful. And stay tuned for more drum related content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.